Hello guys, welcome to episode 55 of our Aston Martin Save. Now, last week we had two street circuits. We had Monaco and then we had Baku. They weren't our best results, but we're still scoring plenty of points. P6 and P8 for Alonso and Gasly respectively has meant that the standings are as follows. Aston Martin, we are currently sat in third. We've got a nice gap to Mercedes, and we can catch Red Bull and Ferrari. We can definitely catch Ferrari. Red Bull might be a little bit more difficult. Drivers' Championship-wise, Pierre Gasly did drop a place from P2 to P3 last time out. He's not had the best couple of races at the street circuits, but I'm hoping this weekend will be a little bit different because we head to the Canadian Grand Prix and the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. 70 laps round here should provide a few more opportunities for racing rather than at the street circuits. We've got Valtteri Bottas holds the lap record here. Car attributes. Acceleration is something that we're really struggling with in the car at the moment, and during the next ATR period, that's where we're going to be really focusing our development of this year's car. Low speed and medium speed cornering, we're pretty decent at that, so it's all looking decently positive. I reckon we can score some good points again here this weekend. The strategies are a medium onto hard or a soft onto hard, depending on what you prefer. So I'm going to get through all the practice sessions now, and we will see you in qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Formula One is back in Montreal. Let's hope it's not going to be Groundhog Day. The local rodents have disrupted more than one race day here in the past. The Canadian Grand Prix is ready to kick off, and the only drama on the tracks we want to see is the best drivers in the world battling it out for a place on that podium. Gilles Villeneuve is a quick, free-flowing circuit in parts, with a stop-start aspect thrown in for good measure around the chicanes and hairpin bends. Medium-speed downforce will play a large part in avoiding the wall of champions and ensuring success at this iconic track. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. The weekend begins here.
This is it then, final flying laps in Q3. We've managed to put in some decent performances in the first couple of sessions, especially in Q2. We look really, really strong. Gasly, I'm expecting big improvements. He was on a scrub set on his first run. Fernando Alonso is on another new set. It was yellow through the first sector, green through the second. Fernando Alonso crosses the line. Can he improve? Not by enough to pip George Russell, so it's all on Pierre Gasly, who has got a fresh engine in this weekend. What can Pierre Gasly do? I'm expecting a big improvement here. Crosses the line, and Pierre Gasly goes up to P4 on the grid. He's just about a tenth of a second off Max Verstappen and around 2 or 3 tenths off the front. But Charles Leclerc looks like he's got it in the bag for P1. We'll just fast forward it for pole position. Charles Leclerc will start the Canadian Grand Prix on pole from Carlos Sainz. It's a Ferrari 1-2, then Max Verstappen, and then Pierre Gasly in the Aston Martin. It's looking pretty cloudy for Sunday, so let's have a look at the strategies. Right then guys, so we are going to split the strategy because we've come up with the two-stop. Now, soft, medium, soft. Gasly's got the tyres to do this. This is apparently 11 seconds or 12 seconds quicker than the one-stop strategy. So we're hoping that by putting him on this, we can jump the cars in front. The idea would be push at the start, use the tyres as quick as he possibly can, get in front of the cars in front, and then we should have the tyre advantage for the rest of the Grand Prix. That's Pierre's strategy. Fernando, it's a bit more standard, medium onto hard. He's not really got any soft compound tyres he could use, and I think it makes sense to split the strategy, especially with Pierre on the two-stop. So 4th and 8th, lots to work on. Let's see what we can do and get to 5 red lights.
The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we're going to ride on board with Pierre Gasly. He has got in front of him, he's got Carlos Sainz on soft and Max Verstappen on mediums. The idea would be, if he can possibly get past Charles Leclerc earlier, we're going to give him the overtake, use them up. We're going on to fresh soft compound tyres at the end of the race. We're going to have a massive pace advantage at the end of this Grand Prix. And straight away, Pierre Gasly is on the inside of Charles Leclerc. He's gained 1 position off the start. He's gained 2 positions. And now he's looking at Carlos Sainz. We're back on the onboard. And straight away, this is looking very, very promising for Pierre Gasly. He's going to have a look at Carlos Sainz down into this next long straight. We're going to tell him to keep this overtake on. And when he gets round this this corner here, this long straight, I'm hoping we do fail on the acceleration. You've seen that there, but Pierre Gasly, if he can get in front of Carlos Sainz and then deploy for a lap, hopefully he could break the DRS and get in front of the Ferrari. If we have a look on the left hand side, interval wise, he's already pulled out half a second on Charles Leclerc, but we are going for broke here early in this Grand Prix, trying to make the most of these tyres and get this deficit, get the gap up to Charles Leclerc. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso dropping back a little bit from the 2 cars in front of him. He's got 2 soft runners in front of him. Fernando Alonso has got to stay with these guys early on. That would be the idea for him, and then he can pit for Haas. But he's got to keep with these guys. But at the moment, we're going to keep on board with Pierre Gasly to see if he can overtake. I don't think he's going to quite manage it. We're going to put him onto neutral. It doesn't make sense. If we're not going to get the job done and they're going to get DRS, it doesn't quite make sense. But lap 2, Pierre Gasly, decent position and not a bad one for Fernando, although he has just dropped out of DRS range. If he drops out of DRS range of this train, he's going to be leading the next one, and that's going to be very, very difficult for Fernando. Lap 2. Pierre Gasly, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and is now leading the Canadian Grand Prix. It's been looking that way. We got DRS, the Ferrari didn't. And Pierre Gasly had got it done before he reached the wall of champions. Now that's fantastic work from Pierre. But we are now trying to push this and get away from Carlos Sainz. He's half a second behind Carlos Sainz, but we're trying to use this DRS just to pull away a little bit if we possibly can. We're going to give this a lap, see if we can do it. If we can, then happy days. If we could break a second, that would be the absolute dream. We could do with these guys squabbling a little bit behind, but that DRS is keeping them well in touching distance at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso having a little bit tougher work. He's having to keep up with this train in front. We're going to give him a little bit of DRS as well, just to ensure that he doesn't fall out of range of these guys, because I don't want him to fall out of range to George Russell. Now, I don't think he's actually got DRS down this straight. Let's have a quick look as we get to the activation point, which is here. He did get DRS, so we're now going to tell him to deploy all the way down this straight, catch up with these two. Charles Leclerc's nearly lost a second to his teammate. It's not quite working for Charles Leclerc at this moment in time, but he has got DRS. Both Ferraris have got DRS. Gasly hasn't, but Fernando Alonso is now back up with George Russell in the Mercedes and takes the fastest lap. The 2 Aston Martin drivers trading fastest laps are 1:16.3 for Fernando. Pierre Gasly is going to be world champion on this series. I'm telling you he is, because that overtake into the wall of champions chicane, what an overtake that was on the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. And as you can see, the 2 Ferraris did start to have a little battle behind. Those medium compounder tyre are becoming the optimal. We're going to have a look in the Aston Martin garage. Yes, lads, yes. We're enjoying this at this moment in time. We're enjoying our time in Canada at this moment. Charles Leclerc is now up into P2. Pierre Gasly, of course, we are on a different strategy. We've got a 20-second, I reckon, pit stop gap. So we need to be having a look at that in a few more laps time. Just monitoring that when we can get him out into clean air to use the medium compounded tyre. Fernando Alonso doing a cracking job of staying in DRS. It's working very, very well for Fernando, but it's working very, very well indeed for Pierre Gasly. Lap 6. DRS is disabled because there has been a crash on circuit. Now, we've just been exploring the options. Let's firstly have a look at the incident, and it looks like it's Lando Norris in the McLaren, the number 4 there. What's going to happen here? The Haas locks up and smashes him into the barrier. Now, we've said to Pierre Gasly, come into the pits. I felt, and this is a big, big gamble, a huge gamble. We're going to lose 9 seconds on the safety car. I wanted to get Pierre in. This would allow us to still do a 2-stop. We're going to be on a better tyre than some cars around him. It's all about where we come out, really. Bottas and all that's coming through. I reckon this might work for us. The pack's obviously going to bunch up, which we know. Pierre Gasly's now going to come out. We've got a free pit stop, and we're going to come out just behind the Haas of Nicholas Latifi. Now, that might seem stupid, but I've just got a funny feeling that we might be able to pull something magic off here. He's now going to be on the mediums. We're going to take his time on this, and then they're all going to have to pit again in 10 laps time. The 10 laps wouldn't have allowed us to build the gap for the 2-stop. We would have had to commit to the 1-stop, which I didn't feel would be optimal for us. So this is a huge, huge gamble. I may have got this wrong, but I will only know when we see how it plays out. So Alonso's now net P7, Pierre Gasly at P16, but has had a pit stop. We'll come back when we get to green flag running. We are back to green flag running and underway, and now Fernando Alonso has got opportunities here. He's got 2 soft compound runners in front of him who have not got the tyres really to compete with Fernando now. But more importantly, we're looking at Pierre Gasly. He's got to make light work, and this Haas and this Mercedes in front of him, if he can make the moves and get up to a decent position, by the time the cars pit in front of him in 10 laps time, he could be well in position. And remember, he's got a fresh set of soft compound tyres to go on to at the end of this Grand Prix. We're going to tell them both to push on the fuel. Fernando's already gained a position. We're probably going to get a replay of that in a moment. We are. Fernando overtaking Lewis Hamilton. Let's have a look at this straight away. Gets down the inside through that chicane, and he's now got in front of him, he's got a Mercedes, I believe that is in front of him, and that Mercedes is the Mercedes of the Brit George Russell. So Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly's got Latifi straight away. Let's have a little look at this. God, this is action-packed. Pierre Gasly, there we go, lovely move. He's using that ERS, gets past him. To be fair, the Haas practically moved out of the way, and now Pierre Gasly once again is having a look at Valtteri Bottas. Can he make a move down this long straight? We are going to ride on board with Pierre Gasly. My word, it's like a car park down here. Fernando Alonso using that ERS overtake. Can he get past George Russell into this chicane? It's all on Fernando Alonso. We're going to keep an eye on this as he's coming up towards the wall of champions. He's right behind George Russell. Can't quite get it done into the chicane. Will he manage to get it done down the start-finish straight? He looks like he's pulling to one side, Fernando Alonso. He's got the inside line for this first into turn 1. Is he going to get the job done? It certainly looks like he is. George Russell coming back at him. Fernando using that ERS to get back up there with George Russell. Fernando Alonso is up into net P5. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly, my man, Pierre Gasly has got Valtteri Bottas start finish straight. Again, couldn't get him into the wall of champions, but he's passed another car. And Pierre Gasly, I believe he's got the capabilities to make this strategy work. And my God, alright, he's using a little bit of ERS at this moment in time. I understand that. But at this moment in time, that's what we want to see. Lap 13, I'm sure there's going to be more overtakes, and in fact we might stick with it because there might be another one here. Is he going to manage to get past him? He isn't at this moment in time. But Pierre Gasly looking really, really strong here, really strong. We are just going to need a bit of ERS saving in a second. We might have to harvest for a couple of laps, but we might do it. If he makes a move into this corner, he looks like he certainly is doing, and Pierre Gasly, he's up into P13. He's used his ERS. We'll have to monitor that situation now. But Pierre Gasly, great work from him. He knows how to make this strategy work. Fernando Alonso on the back of Sergio Perez. It's medium runners at the sharp end. Lap 13. We have got lap 19. A few of the medium runners coming in for their pit stop. So Gasly automatically promoted up to P13. So I'm expecting to see some of these guys coming in very, very shortly, including Albon, Stroll, and Zhou. All of these coming in. This is it. This is time for Gasly to really get a shift on, and he's right up the back of Lance Stroll now. He's then got Albon in front, but we're going to continue to monitor this on lap 19. But as it stands, Max Verstappen isn't leading the Canadian Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc battling away with the Dutchman at the top. Sainz is in P3, Perez P4, Fernando Alonso sitting pretty in P5, Russell P6, Ricciardo 7th, Hamilton 8th, Vettel 9th, Zhou 10th, Pierre Gasly looking strong. Lap 19. Lap 23, we've had a spin, and it's Yuki Tsunoda in the Williams. The Williams has not had a great afternoon. Not going to cause a safety car, which is probably a good thing for us. We don't want a safety car at this moment in time. Pierre Gasly has managed to get past Lance Stroll. He's now looking at the back of Guan Yu Zhou and Albon and Hamilton, this little gaggle of cars in front of us. But at this moment in time, I'm expecting them to pit in probably in the next couple of laps, and then Pierre Gasly should basically shoot to the front of the grid. Lap 23, all looking positive. Fernando Alonso is sticking lovely with these guys at the top, it must be said. Fernando could be in for a podium this afternoon as well. Lap 23, it's all about who boxes into traffic and who gets into a nice gap now to use the fresh tyres. Lap 23. And lap 25, we are starting to see some cars coming in. Max Verstappen is the first one now. Gap to Gasly. This is going to be very, very important. Max Verstappen's making his way down the pit lane. What is the gap to Pierre Gasly? Bearing in mind, Pierre Gasly, he's got to make another pit stop. It's going to be about 20 seconds, but he's going to be pitting onto fresh, soft, compound tyre. Max Verstappen, you're looking at about probably, what, 10 seconds there, maybe? If that, maybe not that, maybe 6 or 7 seconds. So we could do a clearing these guys now. These guys need to pit, and then Gasly has got free rein to really attack these tyres. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso sitting very pretty in P4 at this moment in time. We're going to be looking at when to bring him in the next couple of laps.
Copy.
Lap 25, Fernando Alonso is in the box, and we were really thinking about getting him out into a nice gap now.
Pit limiter.
Is there going to be any holes in this pit lane here? This is going to be the key point. Fernando Alonso is in for his one and only stop onto the hard compound tyre. Have we got a hold? We have got a hold. We've got a terrible hold. And we just get out in front of Carlos Sainz. Sergio Perez has managed to jump us. Fernando Alonso is out in P10. He's a bit of a distance behind Russell. Where is he going to come out? I can't see Esteban Ocon there coming round. Is he going to jump these guys? He isn't. He's going to filter out behind Esteban Ocon. That's not been the best pit stop for Fernando Alonso. Pierre Gasly though now, if we have a look at this situation, interval, he's got 3 tenths on Alexander Albon. We expect Alexander Albon to box this lap, and it looks like Pierre Gasly has decided, I'm going to get the overtake done now. There's 8 seconds to Charles Leclerc. And Pierre Gasly now is in P2, but with a pit stop to make. Max Verstappen is stuck behind Mick Schumacher. I'm hoping we're going to get a look at this lockup, which we are going to get a look at this. Kevin Magnussen locking up in the Haas. He were in front of the Williams as well. That's probably not help matters, but this Williams is holding Max Verstappen up at the moment. Let's just keep an eye on this, because I'm expecting Max Verstappen to get past him. Are we going to get a safety car here? This may be something. We are going to get a safety car. We'll assess this and come back. Oh, he's missed the pit lane. Pierre. He's missed the pit lane. Fernando Alonso's the man that's crashed. We were trying to box Pierre Gasly, but we haven't managed to do it. I wanted to get a view of that as well. But it's Fernando Alonso. He's not out of the Grand Prix, but he is down in P17. He's going to have to come in for a new set of tyres as well. So that's something that we've got to do. He's going to have to come in for a new set of hards, so that's him. But Pierre Gasly, we tried to get him into the pits, and we missed the pit lane. Couldn't do it quick enough, and now this puts him in a real disadvantage here. We'll stick with it, we'll see what comes of this, and we'll come back when Fernando gets to the pits. In fact, he's got to the pits now, so let's see what happens here. This has really mixed up the grid. Charles Leclerc is the big beneficiary of this. I mean, that front wing of Fernando Alonso's is absolutely hammered. There's not much of it left at all. We're going to get a decent view of this, I'm hoping. We've got a time penalty as well. Fernando Alonso, it's not worked out very well for him at all. Not only has he shafted himself, he's shafted Pierre Gasly as well here. But he is going to be released, and he's probably going to be at the back of the grid, back of the pack. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly, we're going to assess this. We might pit him still. I'm going to assess this situation and see what we do at the end of this stint. And we have decided we are going to pit Pierre Gasly. We can see Charles Leclerc in the background. That's fair enough. We reckon it's about 9 seconds under safety car. So let's see where he comes out here. The key one is Max Verstappen. We need a good stop here. If we can come out in front of Kevin Magnussen, which is the man that I'm looking to come out in front of. If we can do this, Kevin Magnussen's on very used hard tyres. We're going to be on the fresher tyre now. Verstappen is away. Perez has got past as well. Gasly's dropping down the order here. But he's going to have some fresh hard compound tyre to come out onto as well. He's going to slot in behind George Russell. I would fancy us from this position to be competitive and possibly fight for the win still here. But Fernando Alonso, he's absolutely at it. I'll come back when we get back to green flag running. Safety car is ending. It's going to be Charles Leclerc to lead us away. The bottleneck is going to be Kevin Magnussen, who, by the way, is currently in P3 in a Haas. But that's going to be the bottleneck. We need to get past, I would suggest, Russell, Perez and Magnussen as quickly as we possibly can. And it's green flag running, and away we go. and Pierre Gasly straight away, we've told him to use the ERS overtake to try and get a couple of moves done early on this restart. Lap 30, we've still got 40 laps to go. I feel like I've managed a full Grand Prix here already. But Pierre Gasly having a look straight away at Lance Stroll and can't get past him. For some reason, Pierre Gasly can't get past Lance Stroll, who's defending amicably. But he has managed to get past him and get back up with George Russell. Stroll actually got Gasly off the restart, which is quite unbelievable, really. So Pierre Gasly now, he's got to be having a look at George Russell. Magnussen's keeping in touch with the front two at this moment in time. But like I said, he is backing Perez and Russell into us as well. So there's a lot to be gained here. We're still in for a podium, if not a win, with Pierre Gasly. And by the looks of it, there could be another safety car. If the pattern of this race so far is anything to go by. You can see though where we lose our two other teams because our acceleration is just not quite as good. But lap 30, we stand P6 with Pierre Gasly. Alonso is going to need an absolute miracle. Lap 30. Huge moment here. Just as we flicked off that, Sergio Perez, who decided to then spun out, that set Gasly through along with George Russell. So Russell and Gasly's got through, and Pierre Gasly is now getting the move done on. George Russell. That is beautiful work from Pierre Gasly. He's now got to catch up to Kevin Magnussen, which I'm sure he will do in absolutely no time. Meanwhile, we have retired Fernando Alonso's car. The reason behind that was that we didn't think it was worth it. We got some damage on the car as well as the front wing. He didn't quite fix it. He was already losing time at the back. We thought it was better to save the engine as we see the replay of Pierre Gasly overtaking George Russell and now doing his absolute utmost to catch up with Kevin Magnussen. I don't know if he's got DRS there. I'm hoping he has. Let's have a look at this bottom right hand corner, or more importantly his rear wing. Is that rear wing going to open? It's not. DRS isn't enabled yet. That's probably why that's happened. Where he's deploying to catch up to Kevin Magnussen. He gets past him. This all changes. Meanwhile, at the front, Leclerc and Verstappen battling away. Get past Magnussen. We're on for a podium. Lap 31. I'm sorry. I could sit and wax lyrical about Pierre Gasly all night. And in fact, I might do tonight. He had a difficult qualifying in real life today, but he's got past Kevin Magnussen. And not only has he done that, he's got past Kevin Magnussen and got into the DRS of Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. No wonder we're jumping up and down in the Aston Martin garage, because I can tell you something, I'm jumping up and down here. Let's have a look at this. We're back. He's within 4 tenths of Max Verstappen. He's in a fantastic position now, Pierre Gasly. We're going to chill out a little bit because I can't take this. Verstappen's on 92%, Leclerc's on 90%. Magnussen's hopefully going to hold up Russell. That's going to work for us as well. It's all looking good for Pierre Gasly. I haven't got Fernando Alonso to manage at this moment in time either. But Pierre Gasly up to P3 and having a look at the back of Charles Leclerc. Verstappen and Leclerc going side by side into the Wall of Champions. We'll keep an eye on this. Gasly ducking to the right. Is Pierre Gasly going to get up into P2? It's looking like he's side by side with Charles Leclerc, but by the time we get to turn 1 and 2, he's already got the move done, and Pierre Gasly is up to P2. Max Verstappen is the man standing between Pierre and a win at the Canadian Grand Prix. This is an unbelievable battle. Max Verstappen is driving fantastically well, as is Charles Leclerc. We're harvesting ERS, but this is all allowing us to just keep on the tails of Max Verstappen, charge our battery up. They've been side by side, Max Verstappen and Pierre Gasly, through the first couple of corners. Kevin Magnussen is having a go at George Russell as well, which is lovely to see. We're still behind Max, but look at that. Beautiful work, beautiful racecraft from Pierre Gasly. You're going to get sick of hearing me complimenting him by the end of this race until something dramatic happens. But Pierre Gasly, he's got the DRS, he's got that rear wing open, he's having a look at Max Verstappen, who can see that charging Aston Martin Vantage behind him. And as you can see, we'll switch back to Pierre Gasly's point of view. He's still harvesting ERS, but it looks like he's going to go for a move for the lead into turn 1, side by side. He goes down the inside, he's going to have the inside line as he comes onto the next straight, and Pierre Gasly looks like he's got the job near enough done. He's still harvesting this ERS. I'm not too concerned if we're not ahead by the next DRS point, because this is all helping us charge this battery up. And as soon as we charge that battery up, we're going to be really attacking Max Verstappen. And we're not. We're going to be behind for this next DRS zone. That our rear wing's open, Max Verstappen's isn't. And as we come back on board with Pierre Gasly again, he's still harvesting. And I reckon now he's harvesting up, and you're going to stick with us. It's back to neutral. I reckon on this next straight, Pierre Gasly will be attacking Max Verstappen for the lead of the Grand Prix. We'll stick with him on board as he comes onto this long straight as we wait for the DRS activation point. Pierre Gasly, rear wing open. Max Verstappen hasn't got his rear wing open. Max Verstappen covers Pierre Gasly off. And to be fair to Max, he's defended that very well indeed. As we come up to the final chicane into the Wall of Champions, we don't want to be crashing into that. He's a wide line from the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, but Max Verstappen is defending admirably at this moment in time. Pierre's chucking one down the inside. He's going to have the outside line coming out of turn 2. Is he going to manage to get it done? He isn't, but he's going to have it on the next DRS zone. Again, he will have DRS. But at this moment in time, it's Verstappen from Gasly and Leclerc, the top 3. Russell P4, Magnussen P5. Then it's Sainz, Stroll, Albon, Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel in P10. Pierre Gasly, we've charged up the battery and then we just put it back onto neutral. And we overtook Max Verstappen. We got the DRS. It was job done and beautiful work from Pierre. That's what we wanted to see from him. And now he leads the Canadian Grand Prix. Are we going to get a shot from our garage? Yes, we are. Because we're enjoying this. We're very much enjoying this. Look at that. Fist pumps, everything going on. Beautiful in scenes in the Aston Martin garage. Now, this is going to be quite key here. Is Pierre going to be able to defend from Max Verstappen down this straight? Let's have a quick look at this because we'll look at the rear wing of Pierre Gasly. That Red Bull is mighty quick indeed. And Max Verstappen is going to be ahead at the chicane. Are we going to get DRS on this next DRS straight? I think we may do. No, we don't. Max Verstappen gets it. It's a double helping of DRS. And Max Verstappen manages to pull out a little bit of a gap. We'll monitor this effectively now, but really I think these are going to keep exchanging places until we decide we're going to go for it. But lap 39, well in the hunt for the win. Lap 60, and you join us back. Lap 61, sorry. Pierre Gasly leading again. They've just been exchanging places. Leclerc, Verstappen and Gasly exchanging places all the way down. This could be the chance though. This could be the chance for Pierre to pull out a lead and break DRS. This is it. We're going for it. We're going to try and run for the hills. Pierre Gasly, it's all about breaking a second before the next DRS zone. If he can do that, there is a good chance we can win the Canadian Grand Prix. It's 1.06 seconds. Is that rear wing gunner open of Charles Leclerc? I don't believe it is. It isn't. George Russell's managed to overtake Max Verstappen as well. Leclerc hasn't got DRS. He's holding up the rest of them. Meanwhile, we are running for the hills. Pierre Gasly is pulling out. He's 1.3 seconds. Let's see. We'll fast forward this forward a little bit. We're going to keep deploy on at the moment. We'll just switch it now to neutral. Keep a little bit of ERS in. 1.6 seconds the gap to Leclerc. He's not got DRS, neither has Pierre Gasly. The cars behind him haven't either, but he's pulling out a further gap. If these start squabbling, in terms of Russell, Leclerc and Verstappen, Gasly could run away with this, and he's also got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. Lap 63, is Pierre going to get his second win of the season? Lap 67, and as you can see, they've managed to catch back up with Pierre. We haven't had the ERS. Their tyres are a little bit better than ours. They have been squabbling. We're going to harvest a little bit. We need to be in the right position for the final lap. That is the key now. I'm going to manage this effectively and hopefully get Pierre in the right position. If we can do that, we stand a chance of winning this Grand Prix. I was disappointed, but obviously we haven't quite got the raw pace of the Ferrari, and hopefully we could do with the Ferrari getting past us before the next DRS detection zone. Let's keep an eye on this here. I think he's going to do. We have lost that position, but we are going to get DRS down this next long straight. The Mercedes of George Russell trying to go for a move. Pierre blocks him off beautifully. Leclerc's overtaking, he's leading the Canadian Grand Prix, but we're now harvesting ERS because we know that the race won't be won in the next couple of laps. It'll be won probably on the final lap, lap 67. Right, you're going to ride on board with us from this lap now. So this is the penultimate bit of this race. We're on lap 69. So George Russell looks like he's trying to make a move on us down the right hand side. We're not going to allow that. We want Pierre now to get this DRS down. George Russell's in an absolute drag race with us down here, but we need to be in P2 coming onto this last lap. We're going to tell Pierre now, use push, use overtake, and this is it. This is the big moment now for Pierre Gasly. He needs to get past one of these two and get into P2. That's the idea. We're going to stay on overtake. We don't want a safety car now. That would be absolutely tragic for us. Doesn't get the best exit out of that corner, but he is going to look like he's going to be in P2. He's still trying to get this overtake done. This side-by-side in front. Tsunoda's crashed. He's still using overtake. He's side-by-side for P1 at this moment in time. He needs to overtake one in this next DRS zone and then overtake another on the final DRS zone. That would be ideal. He's got the overtake using. Is he going to get down the side of the Ferrari? We certainly hope so. He looks like he's got the job done. Can he do it? Here he goes. He's down the inside. He doesn't need to be in front by this next DRX detection zone, and he's going to be. He's gone too early. There's nothing worse than that. Pierre Gasly now has got to defend all the way down this next straight. He's got defend on, and I'm going to tell him,
Aston Martin are moving up
hold back the cars behind. If we need to do this, he's using all the ERS down this start-finish straight. Pierre Gasly rounding the final few corners. Is he going to win the Canadian Grand Prix? It certainly looks like he is. He crosses the line. And Pierre Gasly wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Unbelievable scenes from Pierre. What a performance. We thought he'd gone too early. We've had a crash on circuit. Are we bothered? Absolutely not. But Pierre Gasly wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Absolutely unbelievable drive from the Gasman. He had to deal with safety cars, his strategy being changed, everything. But Pierre Gasly, oh my word, defends like a lion down that last straight, using the battery that we've saved up. And we can see Pierre waving to his adoring fans there, of which I don't think there is a bigger one than me. We've had a crash on circuit. I don't know if we're going to get a replay of that as we're watching Pierre just driving round at the end. Russell from Leclerc, Max Verstappen down in P4. It'll be absolutely good. And a 22-second gap to Danny Ricciardo, who finishes in P6 in the McLaren. Let's fast forward it a little bit and turn up this up.
Well, this weekend, Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars. What a beautiful sight that is on the podium, and a true crowning achievement for everyone involved.
I'm just taking screenshots while this is going off, by the way, because this is some achievement. What a win from Pierre, what a win.
The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here. But remember, it's not just about today's trophies, it's the points that can make all the difference. Today, Aston
It certainly is. It certainly is. And I'm just going to talk over Crofty there, because what a win that is. What a win. Pierre Gasly wins by, well, wins, and did we get fastest lap as well? No, Kevin Magnussen got the fastest lap. I think he had a late pit stop onto a softer compounded tyre. George Russell finishing second, Leclerc third, Verstappen fourth, Sainz fifth, and then sixth for Danny Ricciardo, and seventh for Lance Stroll. Did very, very well indeed. What does that mean for the drivers' standings? Well, Pierre Gasly is back into P2. He's just now 56 points behind Max Verstappen, but we've shown today that we can compete with Max and Carlos Sainz. Fernando Alonso obviously disappointing retirement, but drops to P6 behind George Russell, who had a very good race to be fair to him. But Pierre Gasly gets his 3rd win of the season. I must apologise, Pierre. 3 wins and 5 podiums. What a man he is. Constructor standings wise, Red Bull just gained the 12 points, Ferrari gained 26, but Aston Martin, we gained 25 just to secure our grip on P3. And that is basically everything. So I hope you've enjoyed that. That has been by far one of the better races we've had, especially after last week with the street circuits. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Pierre Gasly, what a man.